Senator Duffy's longtime friend Gerald Donohue was back in the witness box today. This is, for those keeping track, his third day. Today it was Donald Bayne, that's Mr. Duffy's defense attorney's chance to cross-examine Mr. Donohue. If you'll recall in the past, during his previous appearances, it became fairly clear that Mr. Donohue didn't seem to have a whole lot of recollection of exactly what it was being done for the money he was paying out ostensibly on Senator Duffy's behalf as kind of a reserve fund, as the Crown is trying to put it. This time round, it was up to Mr. Bayne to first establish, or do his best to establish, that actually Mr. Donohue did have considerable professional experience in labor relations and human resources and management, which, to be fair, wasn't actually what he was allegedly hired to consult on, but are still areas of expertise. So the main goal for the defense today was, I think, to try to really drive home the message that Gerald Donohue is absolutely qualified to receive these research funds, that he gave advice, that he that this contract was entirely legitimate in every way, and that, yeah, he did pay some money out to subcontractors, but that was perfectly normal and part of his practice. Whether or not he achieved that or not is another question. I did find it interesting how very clearly Mr. Donohue seemed to recall things like his duties at CTV, which went on for like half an hour of questioning, whereas he wasn't able to identify like a single project that he paid out money on Duffy's behalf. It just got a little bit, the disparity was quite noteworthy. Now Mr. Donohue is back on Friday. That will probably be his final round in cross-examination. The Crown will then possibly get to do a redirect, which will probably take until Friday. They should finish by Friday. Next week, the court isn't sitting on Monday, but on Tuesday, we're going to hear from Senator George Furey. He's an independent Liberal. He is an independent-minded sort in every way. He actually sat on the Internal Resources Committee at the time that they were kind of going through the details of these revelations, and he's going to be talking, I think, a bit about what the Senate rules were, what the policies were, and kind of how all this was handled. So that should be really interesting, and that's next Tuesday. But until then, we're gone until Friday. See you then.